Hi all, welcome to One Pitch Catch. India won the T20 series against Australia in Australia, and the last match was rained out. So this basically means that I think India has won two consecutive series in Australia. That's pretty decent. I mean, it's not something that a lot of teams do after going to Australia. And interestingly enough, Australia haven't actually won against India since the very first time they played a series in 2008 in the T20 format. And even that, I don't think you can really count that as a series. It was a one-match series. So it's been a good progression. Actually, you can see how seriously teams are taking T20 by the number of matches, right? So 2008 was a one-match series. Then became a two-match series. Then 16, 18, and 2020 were three-match series, and this one was a five-match series. So you can see how the number of games is actually increasing. But I don't know. I mean, did Australia take this series as seriously?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Jaga. I mean, the number of matches have gone up over the years, and so overall T20 ICE, T20 internationals have gotten more serious. The boards have gotten more serious about it. But this particular series, I mean, the first game was also washed out. It eventually ended up
Yeah,
being a three-match series with India, which India won 2-1 after being 1-0 down. I mean, a lot of credit.
yeah,
But I still felt it was not as convincing as we would have liked it to be because Australia, I don't think was serious about this series very much because they kept pulling players like Hazelwood was
mhm,
pulled after the first two games. The first two games, India were not able to put bat to ball when Hazelwood was
yeah,
bowling. And then Head was also pulled. They were, I mean, always both England and Australia do this. 1 month, 1.5 months before Ashes starts, they are always focused on Ashes. Any other cricket doesn't matter to them. So they were
correct.
always
Yeah.
focusing on Ashes. I mean, India also pulled Kuldeep out of
And
this
that's also
T20
good.
T20 series for the RSA preparation, South Africa game preparation. But I think given the way that we select our 11s, no, Kuldeep may not have
Yeah,
found a place in the 11 regularly also. So
yeah,
at least he came and played. He's playing this game, which is about to end right now, which South
right.
Africa A are going to win. Okay, so I think the 11 selection, Mar should probably be going back to cricket Australia and asking what is the team you have given me and expect me to win because they kept pulling the players out of his team. I feel
Yeah.
so that seriousness was lacking from Australia. I feel, Jaga.
Yeah, I think this 11 selection is also pretty bizarre, right? And then you had that obsession with Harshit Rana, which I don't think a lot of people have quite figured out yet. But going back to the 11 selection, Sanju Samson was dropped down the order and then completely left out. And I'm not so sure if Shubman Gill is actually an all-format player. Like he's now the Test and ODI captain. He's now the T20 vice captain. I don't know if he's really at a level where he should be guaranteed a spot in the 11, particularly when you have other players that can bat better in T20s than he can. And maybe I don't know. Have you seen anything about his batting? Because his strike rate is still very middling. Like 120, 140 types. That's just not how the modern T20 game is.
I think I think him opening the innings is not just. I mean, him is not. He is not doing as well as an opener is expected to do in a T20. That is one thing. And also, it's. I think though we won this series, probably people are going to brush it under the carpets about Gill. I think playing Gill in the 11 is affecting the balance of the side. I feel
Hmm.
because Sanju Samson was doing a good job opening and also keeping, so we could accommodate a batsman
Yeah.
batting it at seven or so. Now that batsman is the Jitesh Sharma. I don't rate Jitesh Sharma on par with Sanju Samson, Jaga. And
Okay.
also he is a wicket keeper who can bat there. Sanju Samson is an opener who can keep
Yeah.
wickets. So that is a small difference there in that. And right now he's even forgotten some Samson. He's even pushed down the order. I don't know if he's got the 21 ducks that he was promised. So apparently Gambhir had promised him 21 ducks. Yeah, until then he would be in the 11. But now I don't think he got 21 ducks, but he's out of the 11 now.
Yeah. And it's also keeping out somebody like Rinku Singh also for that same reason, right?
Yes,
So I think,
exactly. For that Jitesh Sharma plays, Rinku Singh can be playing if Sanju Samson is opening the thing.
yeah,
And also, Sky is not scoring runs in the last 10, 15
correct.
games.
Yeah.
And Tilak Verma has forgotten what is his batting order. I mean, Sky gave up his batting order of number three to Tilak
Correct.
Verma, and
Yeah.
he got hundreds. I think he got 300s in a row or 200s in a row, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. And now he doesn't know what is his batting order. And suddenly in one match, Harshit Rana is sent ahead of Shivam Dube when early wickets fell. And what is the point of playing Shivam Dube? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So this is getting more bizarre by the day with every passing innings. I feel I don't know, Gambhir and the management might have their own reasons. I hope those reasons are good enough to help the team in the short term and the long term. See, I don't think looking for long term is an acceptable excuse anymore, Jaga, because there are players who do well in all formats. I mean, different people doing in different formats. So we don't have to look for the long run only. We can win now also, and we can win in future also. So I think there is, and what is the point of IPL then? I mean, Yashasvi Jaiswal,
Yeah.
I mean, Ruturaj Gaikwad. Okay, this IPL, recent IPL, he didn't have a great one. He was injured immediately also. But Jaiswal and Ruturaj, who have great T20 potential, are not playing. Even Sanju is not playing. So
No,
I don't know what they are trying
the
to make out of
other
Gill in T20.
The other important reason you can't be looking too much long term is because the T20 World Cup is in 3 months' time. Like,
Yes.
what is your point here, right? I mean, are you planning for 2028 World Cup? Yeah, but then there's a tournament that starts a little bit before that, so you're better off focusing on that. So I don't know, I mean, this like you said, this whole experiment. I don't know if it's an experiment, but bringing in Shubhan seems to have upset the so and it impacts the tempo as well from a batting perspective. Anyway, so I don't think there's a lack of talent. I just don't know
Yes.
where this is going. But
Mm.
I've been speaking of talent. I don't know. I mean, with the Ashes coming up, and you're looking at like Head and Hazelwood, obviously pulled out of the T20s to focus on the Ashes and all that. But I don't know. Are Australia really in a comfortable state? I can sense that neither their batting is too good, and then in their bowling, I think they may get through the series, but I don't know how much how much more else this foursome can go on. And then you're looking at England could maybe cause an upset. What do you think?
Yes, you're right, Jaga. If I were an Australia cricket fan, I would be worried with the next set of players coming through. I mean, even in this series, when Cummins is not playing, Head is not playing, Hazelwood has pulled out, all those things. No, there was nobody. The Matthew Short, the Mitchell Owens, and everybody else did not
Renshaw.
did not make an impression that I expected them to make
Yeah,
coming from an Australian newbie. Okay, so I think if I were, like I said, if I were an Aus fan, I would be worried with the next set of players coming through. Especially when McGrath was in his last phases. I mean, Mitchell Johnson came up. When Mitchell Johnson
yeah,
was ending, Mitchell Stark came up. Now with Mitchell Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, and Boland, who is their backup bowler, who's overall very old. When they retire,
yeah.
more or less, I mean, probably Cummins will last longer than these people. All of the others could retire in a
In a
similar,
2 year time span.
yeah, in a similar time frame. So that leaves even batting is a big worry, I think. Bowling also there is worry, especially because the new bowlers who come, say for example, Nathan Ellis is extremely good, but he's a very good
Yeah,
white ball bowler. I don't know how
yeah, yeah.
how he can move into being a test player. Bartlett, all these people. I don't know what happened to Jai Richardson, and there was another Richardson. So I am not sure what happened
There's
to
a
them.
Michel Nesser and a
Yeah,
few others as well.
so those, I don't know what happened to them, but Australia, I don't. After 2 years, maybe in a year or two, Australia may be troubling unless somebody suddenly comes up like a bowler, like Steve Smith was a bowler who became a great batsman. So somebody like that comes up, it's going to be a little bit of troubling time for Australia in a couple of years, is what I feel, Chega.
Yeah, we'll keep watching. I mean, generally Australia somehow find people, but they took a very long time to get anybody close to trying to replace Shane Warne, right? It took them like maybe almost 7, 8 years before they finally landed on Nathan Lyon. So it could take a while. Then again, it may not. We don't know. While we are staying on the topic of tests, South Africa and India start playing a test series on the 14th. I think that's a Friday. Yeah, and. it's like it's going to be an interesting series, like we mentioned it the last time. South Africa are coming off the back of a drawn series in Pakistan. They are the current ICC Test Championship winners as well. So it's going to be interesting. They seem to have the all-round depth, and they have the spinners. India is preparing pretty interestingly through this T20 series in Australia, but at the same time they let Kuldeep go and play the A game. KL Rahul is also playing the A game. I don't understand why KL Rahul should play an A game. He was in pretty good form in against West Indies. He got hundreds, and he's pretty much in the form of his life right now. So why would you not give the chance to somebody that is trying to knock at the door? That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I also saw I found KL Rahul playing this game was kind of meaningless. But again, there is always an uproar when the international players don't turn up for domestic games also. But I mean,
But
I
this is
don't
not
know.
a domestic game.
There has to be a balance also. I feel that way. I didn't think KL Rahul deserved to play, but and also there is this obsession of making Sai Sudarshan our next Dravid Pujara,
Number three.
that number three. I don't understand Sai Sudarshan with every passing innings. I think he's more and more not likely to become the next number three for India in Test is what I
Hmm.
feel. So I don't know, his T20 and IPL credentials are great, but he doesn't play T20 for India. But
Yeah,
he's
that's also
pushed
there.
into being a number three for India in Test, which I'm extremely not sure about. Let
So
us see what he does because
His T20 credentials for Gujarat are making him number three in tests, but he doesn't play T20 for India, so it's a
yeah,
little bizarre.
very very bizarre. But actually, this India A, South Africa A that is happening right now also has been very interesting. The first test,
Yeah, yeah.
unofficial test, that is India won, and now South Africa is
South Africa won this game.
just
Pretty
winning the
big chase.
second. Yeah, very big chase, 400 plus chase they've got to it. So
Kuldeep didn't have a good game.
Kuldeep didn't have a good game. Yes, he
Yeah,
gave it four and a half, more than 4.5 runs per over, I think.
yeah, yeah. First
So
innings, I think he gave 6 runs and over or something like that.
so the second innings also he didn't have a good game. So let's see. And in terms of squad, I think only a couple of changes, right? Narayan and
Yeah,
Jagdishan and Prasidh are out, for whom Pant and
correct.
Akashdeep have come in.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see the wickets that BCCI and the groundsmen prepare for the series. There are only two tests, I think. So the
Yeah, it's
wickets
a
would
two-match series, yes.
the wickets would be very interesting, I feel, because a very, very spinning wicket could be detrimental to India's
Yeah,
chances,
yeah.
I feel, Jaga. Hmm.
Definitely. I mean, especially South Africa do have the spinners in the form of Keshav and Sidren and
Armour.
Harmer. And, yeah, yeah. So they do have the strength. Anyway, so the other interesting piece is a week after India won the Women's World Cup, what next for the Indian team? They play Bangladesh at home sometime, I think December, and then there's a pretty long tour of Australia for almost a couple of months. They're playing one test, three ODIs and three twenties. May not be a couple of months, almost like maybe spanning Feb and March, but. It's I don't know. I mean, the I hope the World Cup win is just put to the side. Certainly there's a lot of issues that they need to sort out. Some players are not really consistent. Harmanpreet is among them. Then you're looking at questions around like how long will somebody like Deepthi continue? All of them have been around for a while. Maybe it's time to just move to the next generation of players. And sometimes that happens, right? You've achieved a big personal goal. You're like, what next? So that's there. I think they have to look at maybe giving Richa a little bit higher spot, right? She was really the only person that was able to come in and quickly start hitting. Otherwise, the batting has a very high sameness to it, whether it's your Harleen, Harmanpreet, Jemima, all of them are very similar. No left-handers in the top order. So I don't know, somehow a lot of factors came together and they won. But what do you think?
Yes, Jaga, I think there is a lot of, though they won, no? I mean, it could be a very controversial topic after they winning and we are talking about this, Jaga. But I think there is a lot of holes to be plugged because Harmanpreet, though she scored runs in a couple of important games with this Australia and England in this World Cup, she's not been consistent and nobody's able to increase the tempo of run scoring except Richa. And Richa is batting too low, I feel. Richa can
Yeah,
definitely
correct.
bat. And one one other thing is Deepthi batting at five. I feel Deepthi is a number six, or maybe because though she got a lot of 350s and a lot of wickets and the player of the World Cup and all that things, I still feel she's not a proper number five. There is no, I mean, earlier, some 10 years ago, the women's game itself did not have that tempo. Now with T20,
Yeah,
women's
yeah,
T20 and Australia and England, the way they play, South Africa also, the way people who come in at 8 and 9, the way they score. So I think that tempo is definitely needed. It is looking like the old Indian men's team where they didn't have the T20 tempo for a while.
yeah,
So so that is how I think there. I don't know whether people will really move on, but I think there is needs to be some holes. Definitely needs to be plugged. If you're, I mean, probably again, if you're playing Bangladesh at home, it may not be a very challenging series for the
yeah,
girls.
correct. Yeah,
But if they go to Australia, and especially Australia having lost to India in the semi-finals, would be quietly
yeah,
wanting to take a
definitely.
revenge.
Not
So
quietly. I think they'll do it very loudly. I recall after the 1983 World Cup, after India won against West Indies, West Indies came to India sometime in '84 for I think it was a five-test series or six-test series, I think, and then a five ODI series. 4-0 in the tests, 5-0 in the ODIs or something like that. So completely blanked, and they just walloped India left, right, and center. As well, like you really have the guts to call yourself a World Cup winners. This is what you get. So I think Australia will be really, really looking forward to this series. And you don't know how ferocious they're going to be about it.
yeah, I mean, I think our girls will have some thinking to do. They can't bask in this glory of the World Cup win. Yes, it is great, absolutely an wonderful experience, but they'll have to do things a little more differently if they have to
Yeah.
continue this momentum and keep winning.
Absolutely, yeah. Anyway, I mean, I think the other thing that just came to my mind is again, even around the bowling attack, right? Kranti Gaud is definitely a discovery, but she still seems very raw. Actually, the she didn't have any impact on Australia in both the games that they played.
Yes.
Australia really easy played her, like scoring 6+ an over, barely giving her a wicket. The support is not. Renuka was pretty good, but other than that, there's nobody else. I think Pooja Vastrakar was definitely missed in terms of providing that seam bowling and all-round balance. So there are a few things to sort out, which hopefully they'll do it by the time they get to Australia. And the catching was pretty bad. We saw even somebody like Jemima dropping a catch maybe a couple of catches in the final also, which could have really been costly. So quite a few things to get done.
More than
And then the
anything,
topic
Jagat,
was,
their DRS,
oh yeah, DRS was pretty
DRS
horrendous.
usage. I mean, if Indian men use bad DRS, you look at
Yeah,
the women. I don't think
yeah,
nobody even they even plan for DRS. This randomly they take DRS
yeah,
calls.
yeah.
I mean, now it's DRS is very much part and parcel
It's a
of
proper
cricket.
science, basically. Yeah.
You
So I
have
don't
to
think they
have
were
a
getting it
plan.
right. Yeah, maybe they just need to identify and who the right people are and take the right calls, right? But yeah, it's going to be interesting how they shape up over the next few months. One of the things that is just a thought, right? I mean, if you think about Amol, he's probably achieved a lot more than what he thought he would as a coach. Hopefully, better things happen. But again, what's next for him? What is he going to be doing? I'm sure he contributed a lot. But one thing that I was thinking of was why would a women's team not have a women coach? Like I think England has Charlotte Edwards. Australia's coach is also a woman. I think some of the other teams do have men, but why not? Like, I mean, it's probably a good opportunity to develop somebody. At least maybe 3, 4 years later, you could have a women's coach.
And
Not that having a men's coach is not needed. I mean, you do have. I think the Indian men's team has had women physios in the past, and I think RCB's physio is also women. So it's nothing about that, but you have to develop your coaching talent as well. So it's probably
yeah,
something to look forward.
yeah, exactly. I mean, now the entire World Cup was officiated by women umpires and women match
Yeah, yeah,
referee.
yeah, correct.
So
Yeah,
when you're making it that way towards that, there can always be women coach also
yeah,
in the future coming up.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, interesting few weeks ahead. Like I said, the test match starts, and then there's a bunch of other stuff that's going on as well. New Zealand and West Indies are also playing each other. We'll come back to that later. Until then, nothing else. So thanks a lot. Keep watching, and please do follow our channel and give us your feedback. Thank you. Bye.
You